Under Persian moonlight, a cat beside a poet was never just an animal. It was a small silence with eyes. Before the city woke, ink waited on the table. The cat waited too, as if the unfinished line belonged to both of them. Some poets did not write because they had answers. They wrote because the night had become too full to carry alone. In a courtyard of stone, water, and shadow, a cat could listen without interrupting the soul. A bowl placed beside a manuscript was not only kindness, it was an agreement between hunger, beauty, and the hour before dawn. Persian gardens were built to hold paradise in miniature. But at night, a cat made them feel personal. Longing needs a shape. Sometimes it becomes a poem. Sometimes it becomes a cat moving quietly through moonlight. A reed pen scratched across paper. A paw stepped near the ink. Nothing important was ruined. Something human became softer. Behind a carved window lattice, someone watched the night without wanting to be seen. Below, a cat crossed the courtyard like a secret. Perhaps the first moonlit companion was not a lover or a friend, but an animal that stayed without asking questions. Poets trusted stillness because stillness revealed what noise tried to hide. Cats understood that instinctively. The fountain repeated the same small sound all night. The cat beside it made repetition feel like memory. The shadow of a poet can remain in a room long after the poet is gone. A cat entering that room makes absence visible. Some lines were never written because they were too private. The cat heard them anyway, somewhere between breath and ink. After midnight, libraries change. Books stop being objects and become sleeping witnesses. A scribe might copy words for kings, lovers, merchants, and the dead. The cat only watched the hand grow tired. On carpets woven with gardens, birds, and stars, a cat's footsteps added a living pattern no artisan could plan. A woman behind a screen could hear the cat before she saw it. That small sound made the room feel less enclosed. At shrine thresholds, people lowered their voices. Cats did not need to lower anything. Their whole bodies were already quiet. Where prayer becomes silence, even an animal passing through can feel like part of the devotion. The night garden held roses, cypress trees, water, and the kind of darkness that made thoughts more honest. An old reader held a lamp close to the page. The cat held its warmth close to the old reader's feet. At the edge of a tea house, people spoke of trade, grief, weather, and God. The cat listened to all of it without choosing sides. A traveler arriving after sunset trusted very little, but a cat near the doorway made the unknown city feel less sharp. Caravans crossed distances that made human promises fragile. Under the moon, even a cat's small presence could feel like home. Paws across sand vanished quickly, but for one moment, the desert kept a record of something alive. The road belonged to merchants, pilgrims, soldiers, and thieves. The cat moved as if it belonged to none of them and all of them. Blue tiles held the color of water, even when the air was dry. A cat sleeping there made the courtyard seem cooler. Milk in a shallow bowl can become a ritual when it is offered at the same hour every night. An empty chair beside a low table can hold more feeling than a crowded room. The cat knew where to sit. Some creatures leave, some creatures stay. A cat who stays through a difficult night becomes part of the memory forever. A page held open by a quiet hand. A cat beside the wrist. The poem did not need to hurry. The sound of turning paper is one of the gentlest sounds humans make when they are alone. The door of a dervish lodge. A cat paused as if it heard music beneath the wood, on rooftops under stars. The city became a bowl of blue darkness. The cat walked along its rim, below the moon. The city softened. Domes, alleys, gardens, and tired hearts all looked less certain. A cat watching a minaret at night does not explain belief. It simply shares the vertical silence. After music ends, the room becomes larger. The ney player lowered the flute. The cat remained beside the shadow of sound. In a garden of roses, beauty was never still. Fragrance moved, water moved, the cat moved last. A rose can mean love, loss, paradise, or a wound, A cat brushing past it makes symbolism feel alive. In the archive, dust settled on documents of people who once believed their names would last. A forgotten manuscript does not feel forgotten when a cat sleeps beside it. Ink is a small night humans learn to control. Cats seemed born from the larger night outside the window. The scholar's hand paused above the page. The cat looked up as if the pause itself had meaning. A child learning letters did not yet know that words could save and wound. The cat only knew the child was trying. The alphabet became less frightening when a cat slept near the slate. Some rooms remember who cried in them. Some remember who wrote there. Some remember the animal that stayed. A widow swept the courtyard before sunrise. The cat followed the broom as if grief could be gently rearranged. Grief often needs a witness that does not speak. A clay water jar cooled the room by doing almost nothing. The cat beside it understood the dignity of stillness. A door left open at night is both invitation and risk. A cat crossing it turns uncertainty into movement. Before the bazaar woke, the city belonged to shutters, dust, carts, and cats. The spice seller's cat knew saffron, cinnamon, cardamom, and the tired hand that measured them. Alleys before sunrise hold a blue shadow different from night. It feels like the world deciding whether to return. A cat who chooses no owner can still belong deeply to a place. The moon over Shiraz made walls, gardens, and poems feel closer to the unseen. The poet's last candle burned lower. The cat did not understand finality that made its presence merciful. Some lines end because the poem is complete. Some end because the heart cannot continue. Near sleep, humans become honest. A cat at the edge of the bed keeps watch over that surrender. In dreams, gardens are never only gardens. They are rooms the soul enters without a map. Every threshold asks a question. Are you leaving, arriving, or becoming someone else? Cats live comfortably near the unseen because they do not demand explanations from it. At morning, birds began before humans did. The cat listened as if the night had handed over its secrets. First light on fur can make an ordinary animal feel newly created. Perhaps Persian poets wrote about cats because cats carried the same qualities poetry seeks: silence, grace, distance, and sudden tenderness. A small guardian of longing does not need to save the world. It only needs to remain near the place where someone feels alone. The poem that stayed warm was not always the one written best. Sometimes it was the one written with a cat beside the lamp. Beneath the final moon, the cat walked away from the page, leaving the poet with silence that no longer felt empty. And maybe that is what the night remembered, not the perfect poem, but the small creature that made loneliness bearable.